Welcome back to Dashavatara of Emotions. I'm Karishma, and I invite you to explore the most profound expression of love that transcends conditions, expectations, and even time itself. The love of Krishna, the eighth avatara of Vishnu. This episode is more than a story, it's a journey of the heart. I ask you not just to listen, but to open up yourself to experience this love. We often talk about love in terms of what we can give and what we can receive. We measure it, we set conditions. And yes, I too at times have weighed love on the scale of expectations. Guilty as charged. But today, through Krishna's stories, we'll step beyond that limited understanding of love. Together, let's discover a love that moves, that transforms, that flows like a river, breaking through boundaries, as Krishna does with each act, each moment of his life. Krishna's story begins in the darkness, born in a prison, surrounded by the threat of death. And yet, he brought hope. There wasn't fear, there wasn't despair, there was hope. Even as a newborn, Krishna brought light to his parents' lives, Vasudeva and Devaki, releasing them from their fear. This is what love does. It creates light in darkness. It gives hope when there seems to be none. Think about the darkest moment in your life. Have you ever felt love arrive unexpectedly like a glimmer of light, giving you the strength to go on? That's Krishna's love. Love that doesn't wait for the perfect moment, but creates it. Love that breaks through the constraints of circumstance. Let's journey deeper. Krishna's childhood with Yashoda, his adoptive mother, is one of the most tender stories of love. She wasn't his biological mother, but her love was boundless. There's a story that touches my heart each time I think of it. When Krishna ate mud, Yashoda, like any worried mother, rushed to him, scolding him, "Open your mouth, Krishna!" And what did she see? The entire universe within him. Can you imagine what she must have felt? Awe, fear, confusion, but above all, love. A love that transcended her understanding. A love that saw beyond that mischief to the infinite within Krishna. Yashoda's love reminds us of how we often see people we care about. Do we recognize the infinite within them? Or do we get lost in the small day-to-day concerns? Ask yourself, when you look at someone you love, can you see the universe within them? Now we move to Krishna and Radha. A love that embodies the highest form of spiritual connection. Their love was never meant to be fulfilled in the conventional sense. It wasn't about togetherness or marriage. It was about longing. There's a story that stays with me. When Krishna played his flute under the moonlight, calling out to Radha's soul, she abandoned everything, her chores, her responsibilities, just to follow the sounds of his flute. In that moment, Krishna wasn't just playing music. He was pulling her soul toward him, toward the essence of love. Can you imagine being drawn by love so deeply that everything else falls away? When was the last time you felt love that consumed you, not in possession, but in yearning. Love, as Krishna teaches us, is not about having someone, it's about feeling them deeply, completely, even when they are not physically with you. Radha's love teaches us that sometimes love is found in the longing, in the spaces between. The intensity of that yearning is a reminder that love does not need to be near to be real. But Krishna's love wasn't just romantic. His friendship with Draupadi is one of the most powerful expressions of loyalty and devotion. Remember the moment in the Kaurava court where Draupadi was being humiliated, disrobed in front of everyone. She called out for help, Govinda! And Krishna, miles away, heard her call. His love transcended distance, time, and even physical presence. He did not need to be there because his love was already with her. In that moment, as her sari grew endlessly, protecting her dignity, Krishna's love became a shield. This story reminds me that love isn't always about being physically present. Sometimes love is simply being there when it matters most, even from afar. Showing up in whatever way you can. Love in Krishna's world is a force that cannot be limited by distance. Think about this. How many times have you shown love in a way that isn't seen or acknowledged? Have you ever been the invisible force protecting someone you care about? That too, my friend, is love. Krishna's love also takes the form of guidance, even when it is difficult. His love for Arjuna was not soft or comforting. It was fierce. Especially on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna was paralyzed by doubt. He did not want to fight. He wanted to run away. He was lost. He was consumed by confusion, fear, anxiety, regret, guilt, everything. But what did Krishna do? He didn't comfort Arjuna with sweet words, hugs, mollycoddling, and sympathy. Instead, he reminded Arjuna of his duty, his purpose, and his strength. Krishna's love was tough love. He told Arjuna, "You must rise, you must fight." This was not about war. It was about self-respect, about honoring who Arjuna was meant to be. Krishna's love was not about making Arjuna feel good. It was about pushing him to be his highest self, even when it was uncomfortable. Have you ever loved someone so much that you had to push them? Not in anger, no, but in love, knowing that they could be more than they believed themselves to be. Krishna shows us that sometimes love isn't about comfort. It's about challenge. Through these stories, Krishna shows us that love is not just one thing. It is multifaceted. It is the tenderness of Yashoda, the longing of Radha, the loyalty to Draupadi, and the tough love for Arjuna, and the hope for Vasudeva and Devaki. It's a river that flows in all directions, nurturing, challenging, protecting, guiding. But above all, Krishna's love is about seeing the divine in both others and ourselves. You know, the Bhagavad Gita to me is a song of self-love. Krishna reminds Arjuna that before he can serve others, he must first know and honor himself. This is the core of Krishna's message. Self-love is not selfish. It is the foundation upon which all other forms of love are built. Yes, self-love is the foundation upon which all other forms of love are built. My friend, I would like you to ask yourself, are you loving yourself as Krishna asked Arjuna to do? Are you honoring your own worth? Because when you do, the love you offer to others will be stronger, deeper, and more profound. So as we close today, I invite you to reflect on how you can deepen your love for yourself and for those around you. Krishna's love teaches us that love is the axis upon which our lives revolve. It is dynamic, boundless, and it begins within. The universe lives within you, just as it did within Krishna. So until next time, remember, love is not just an emotion, it is a way of being, a way of seeing the world. And like Krishna, may you be both the lover and the beloved, the teacher and the student, and most of all, the embodiment of love itself. Love, grace, gratitude. Why? Because, अरे क्यों? क्योंकि from the depths of curiosity to the peaks of understanding, join me in this journey of the Dasha Avatara of emotions. Kyun? Because I, Karishma Udit Chhatrapati, cares for your emotional wellness. कुछ बातों का मतलब, कुछ मतलब की बातें. क्या मतलब?